is very, very key for the time. Uncertainty and anxiety has already forced us, the travel and tourism to take a back seat, unfortunately. But this is one of the sectors which has been affected globally. Though phased out restoration strategies are being designed by different countries worldwide, the industry ambiguities are still to stay here for a while. Now, we are going to be touching on various discussion points, and we will, try to get few points together, which is the aim of the episode today. Now, my first question is to Mr. Jasra. Aviation industry is definitely a very, very highly, I would say, regulated industry, and also, so to speak, hygiene complex. So would you think that this would pose challenge to run the business in the current times and times to come as well?
Okay, thank you, Tarandeep sir. As far as this regulated, we all know that airline is a regulated industry. But this is a hygiene part of it, because in the airline, anybody who start any airline, he understand that part, that it has to be regulated. All DGCA, BCAS, and government, Ministry of Civil Aviation, all they play their role, and they understand that part is concerned, and that's a good thing also. Now, because airline, you can't even move a plane, you can even start plane without ATC permission. So it is as far as that much regulated, and which is a good thing also. So hygiene is also falls in the same line. So as far as regulation is concerned, that certainly is not an issue for airlines as a way forward. But if you ask me, the real issue is that of the capacity. Right now, fares are regulated, and load factor is something close to 55% average, which is certainly not a very good situation, because this is a festive season. Normally in festive season, the loads are close to 80 to 90, even in many routes, it is 100%. That is one part of it. Second is that government has regulated this fare. There's a lower band and there is an upper band, and 40% of seats has to be sold somewhere in the between. So with this 58 or 55% of load factor and the fare restriction put together, we realize that airlines in actually going through a very difficult situation. And way forward, even if they increase the capacity to 100%, the cost of operations will be definitely going to high, and revenue is definitely not going to match the same. And the way right now, some of the airlines, especially the two airlines, they actually have to burn their hole in their pocket. So if you think of the way forward, and as rightly one of our friend we were discussing just a few minutes back, that we don't know when this COVID will actually end, when the vaccine will come, how many vaccination will be done, and what will be the response. Because in elsewhere in the Europe, the second wave of COVID has come. So we don't know how people will react, because right now, whosoever is traveling is definitely not traveling for corporate reason, is definitely not traveling for tourism purpose. Somebody who has to travel is traveling right now, and it will not last that longer. And way forward, if you say that after February, because yesterday even Mr. Hardeep Puri, the Honorable Minister, has said that for 3 years they have for 3 months they have extended this fare restriction. Fare restriction is a good thing, because some of the bigger airlines who have deep pockets will not devour the smaller airlines. At the same time, it is difficult for the smaller airlines to even earn some good money, some good profits in the on the routes where they are seeing some demand. So it's a catch-22. You if you have it, it's there's a problem. If you don't have it, then it is a problem right now. If two airlines, because we have in past we have seen airlines being closed down, and if these two airlines, I don't want to name them, but they actually get closed down, then there will be a monopoly situation in the future, which is certainly not good for the aviation industry. So So let's hope that more people start traveling airline. But again, the issue is that what I have realized that low cost carrier drive the demand, and low cost carrier are supported by the middle class. And this, in this COVID, the middle class is financially has got actually they financially got lost in much of their savings and income. And unless until the economy survives, unless the economy comes back to the life and middle class got some purchasing power, I don't see much of a future for the airline per se, because full service airline, again, uh, they are flying on the same routes and they are bleeding more. They are so way forward. I actually, though it's your is a happy hotelier club, but I don't see any happy situation way forward, and it's something very dicey. And I believe that government should intervene more than this fare restrictions and all. They need empty. Almost 50% of the seats are going empty. I think airlines need some kind of subsidies, or I don't know, something has to be done substantially for them to survive. Tandeep?
Very rightly said. Yes, it is a happy hotelier club, but then I think in the grim and the sadness, or I would say anxiety period, challenging period, we still have to be hopeful and we have to still go on. So that is what Happy Hotelier Club tries to do with individual, professional. Okay, going forward to Mr. Mehra. So this new situation full of uncertainties, as we have addressed with Mr. Jasra, going forward, airlines, online travel agents, the restaurants, the tour operators, hotels, airports, travel agencies, everyone is trying to work sort of from a scratch. So how can we help each other in bringing business back to normal, looking at minimum supports, so to speak, because we have got really minimum supports from the government. So what would you like to say to this?
Thanks, Tarandeep. First of all, the word minimum support from the government is a wrong word. There is no support at all. First of all, there is no support. They are not even willing to do anything. And yesterday there was a statement by the Honorable Tourism Minister that we have done this and we have done that. So we have written to them today to let us know where those things have been done, because we are not aware of anything which has been done. Now the situation is that with the new situation and the challenges, we in the tourism industry need to start from scratch, because tourism is fully closed from the day COVID-19 was known to the world, starting with cancellation of flights from China and in the first week of February, followed by suspension of visas and international flights. All international borders were sealed. This resulted in offices of tour operators being closed with zero business, zero income, and most of them have sent their staff on leave without pay, or they have told them to look for an alternative. Now, first of all, the vaccine has to come. Once the vaccine has to come, then we have confidence among the foreign tourists who I2 represents to visit India. So we do not know how many of our FTOs abroad are still there in business, or who have lost, or who are no more. That's a very big question. We have problems with funds being stuck up with the hotels, with the airlines, payments being stuck up from the foreign agents abroad. So things are not that good for the tour operators and travel agents. And presently, we are not in a position of making any commitment to a client, because even we also do not know when e-visa or tourist visa and international flights are going to resume. Under the new normal, everything will change, including travel, sightseeing, visit tomorrow. We need to prepare ourselves accordingly. Support from hotels is definitely required, because if everyone is not looking for something which is cheap, uh, somehow they feel where we are, they can get a cheaper rate at a luxury hotel, and that is, as correctly said by one of my panelists here, the low class hotels or the 3-star hotels, they are in big trouble, because by paying a little bit more, I can go to a hotel which is more hygienic. Similarly, the airlines, now the cap is there. I think it is good at least, but definitely from the airlines perspective, with 50% or 55% occupancy on flights, and then on top of it, I understand every day at least 10 to 20% of the flights out of those 50 get cancelled also because of no load. Now we have to build a confidence to the public, uh, whether it is domestic or international, and to that extent, I also had a lot of role to play when Uttarakhand was opening up. There was a lot of dialogue which we as ITO also had with the Uttarakhand government, which resulted in this opening up. Uh, we have to look into things. The hotels, the airlines have to cooperate and to build confidence to the foreign agents to sell India and then come. Thank you, Tandeep.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So basically, basis what the two panel speakers have shared with us, we know that tourism industry as such is a lot more cyclic. You know, we've seen these recessions in the past also. Overall economy has dipped. Deeper recessions have happened in the past, but we have also come out with faster recoveries. You know, those are the statistics which we have seen, and we can see going forward. So we should be hopeful that even though this one will take much longer time because it's of a different nature, but then having said that, there are various strategies which the hotel leaders at their end are doing. The technology is being spruced up, I would say. So technology, I feel, is an enabler going forward right now, because it helps you to generate more revenue for the company, once you have a full proof within your system. So Mr. Srivastava, I just wanted to put this question to you. Do you think this can help build speedy recovery of the business technology? And what do you think from your end? What do you feel? What are the strategies we should adopt going forward?
Thank you, Tarandeep. It's a really nice question. And yes, technology is not just enabler in a business, but also generate the additional business also. I would say only technology can help to accelerate the business in aviation or any industry, so no matter. Now, seeing the current scenario, all we know aviation industry is not doing well and very badly affected because of pandemic. And most of airlines are struggling for survival or revival. And this situation, technology may not be help generate the additional revenue, but definitely it will help to speedy recovery of the business. Let's say, for example, technology, we can say we can develop a mobile application or devices where we can do the check-in, touchless check-in and boarding, and using the RFID tag based system where baggage handling can be complete touchless. And I also I can see the most of airline doing that right now. And in terms of social distancing, there are a lot of norms happening, and all the major airport, they maintaining all those norms, and that is directed by competent authority. And in terms of sanitizing, there are a lot of technology being used, like say the robotic system used for sanitizing of entire aircraft. Each and every landing they can do cleaning of the aircraft, and they are using HEPA technology to sanitize them. And in fact, before COVID, they are doing normal hygiene, maintain the normal hygiene, but still today we are using it to various applications for doing like this. And one thing I can say, this our technology is available long so many years. Only problem is India, we are not able to implement because of there are a lot of restrictions from the government and authority. We cannot implement all those things. I'm talking about the mobile check-in. We a QR-based check-in, basically boarding we used earlier in 10 years back in a couple of international airports, like say Narita Airport. They are very advanced. They done all the mobile check-in long time back. Whether that's why these are technology available, proven technology available. Only thing is we have to implement those things as soon as possible at the airport. Airport infrastructure is not capable to handle those technology in between. That is the most important factor today. And this is a time basically authority and people, airline, airport, everybody should be handshake each other and implement all those seamless transaction or integration so that entire customer journey can be having seamlessly travel from between A city to B city, and fearlessly they can travel. So yes, I can say technologies are help us to speedy recovery of entire business.
Right, right. So yes, technology is here to stay definitely, and we need to actually build up on the next technology. If it is AI, we have to get into EI and so on and so forth. Get that parallel, structured so that in this pandemic time and times to follow, these become our strengths going forward. So that is very, very essential. Now, in this pandemic, we've seen that after March, past 3 months, there's been definitely a buildup of domestic tourism, though the numbers have been very, very low. And this can be, I'm sure Sachin can second on that, because overall travel searches have gone low. People have really, started calling the hotels directly for a direct booking, because one thing which is definitely playing in their minds is hygiene, and that is something which is very, very important for them to know that they are in the safe hands, right? So over to you, Sachin. I just wanted to know that according to statistics put up in the recently concluded Fortune Hospitality Summit also, what they said that the last minute booking has, for the hotels have really increased due to uncertainties, or all of a sudden they make their plans and more on drivable distance. So what do you want to say on that, and how is a hotels, just not your hotel, but hotels around and in the country, the Marriott Group, how are you kind of sprucing up to the expectations of people?
Thanks, Sarandeep, for having me here. To answer your question, when we took a 90-day shutdown of a resort between March and June, and when we were ready to open this resort again, we were very mindful of the fact that we are entering into a phase where we don't have any trend. We don't know if people would actually be willing to travel. And we also did not know what to expect, when a guest comes to a hotel after traveling the distance up to Mussoorie. But then over the last 3 months, we've seen that, our lead times have decreased. Initially our bookings, our reservations used to come up at least, a few months prior. In some cases, it could be a couple of months, or even, at least a month in advance. But now we've seen that, people, our guests are making decisions to travel 3 to 4 days prior the date of travel. It could be when somebody wants to travel on a Saturday, calls the hotel on a Wednesday and checks if there are rooms available, and then they make the decision to travel. A lot of that also happened because, there were a lot of government restrictions in terms of how they can travel. The Uttarakhand government had a pretty good plan in place where a lot of travelers had to register on a government website, so they could keep a track of all these travelers coming into the state. And they also obligated all the guests to carry a COVID report at least 96 hours prior the date of the travel. So this has actually reduced a lot of lead times, how how we got our bookings in the hotel. So from what used to happen 30 days in advance has gone down to as low as 3 to 2 days. And the trend continued until there were more relaxations in Unlock 4 and 5 modules, and a lot of restrictions were eased. And now guests are actually starting to book our hotel at least 2 to 3 weeks prior. So we're seeing that trend again. People are planning much ahead in advance. Again, this is coming through a lot of confidence of other travelers who have actually come and visited our resort and have gone back, stating that we are a safer place to visit. So to answer, yes, there have been a lot of changes in the trend, because this is not a calamity which is caused, or this pandemic is not caused due to economic or natural conditions. It's not like a flood or an earthquake or a war or even a recession which has happened in the past. So we always had a knowledge of how to handle these typical methods of crisis, but this is something which is evolving every day. We're learning every day with as the time goes by, how to handle this pandemic or the conditions of this pandemic or the after effects of this pandemic. Hence, we are also mindful that we are ready for any volumes of any levels of business. I mean, we know that within 3 days we can pick up maybe 20% of our inventory, or maybe more than that. So that's how we are also prepping ourselves, even though we don't have a trend, and we are seeing very early days of demand, I would put it as. So to sum it up, yes, the lead times have completely gone down, like I said, from 30 days to 3 to 2 days. And I'm sure this will continue at least for the next 3 to 6 months, till the time our guests have the confidence to plan their travel much ahead in advance.
Right. Thank you, Sachin, for the inputs, which you were seeing in the hotels at the moment. Yeah, so optimism is very, very important, because around recoveries in the coming months is to be strategized very well, because we know that the airline industry will not show positive graph, and we know that the inflow would not be, in terms of inbound, will not happen. Even within the country, the travel would be bare minimum. As Mr. Jastra rightly said, that this is going to be absolutely, when it is imperative, then people will be, flying. So keeping that in mind, we still have to be optimistic, because that's how we have to, move ahead. But I think in this time, collaborations would really play a key role, whether it is in the airlines, whether it is in the OTAs, every part, every touch point of the tourism and hospitality, we all have to collaborate and work together, right? So on this, I would request, I think all the panel speakers will be having very, very strong points to support this question. We would like to hear from all of you.
Absolutely. I think collaborations is the way ahead. We've realized that very early into, when we reopened our resort. And a little while ago, we were talking about, the government support and, what has happened post-pandemic. And we all realized that, there is very little or no support, or, there is in terms of, the travel tourism in the hospitality industry. It could be with it could be in different levels. It could be right from our pricing to our tax rebates, or whatever it is. I don't want to get into much of the detail of that. But having said that, the way forward is only collaborations. And the few OTAs who have they reopened the business as early as September and October. But again, there are a lot more who are still, willing to open the business and, see some kind of a light on that front. But having said that, we at the JW Marriott at Mussoorie, we started collaborating with different partners. We also are exploring collaborations with a few airline partners with whom we haven't worked in the past. It could be Vistara or any other airlines, and we're working with other companies who are a part of the service industry, and we all have a common suffering, right? And we all have this hunger to do something for each other, which can benefit each other. So we're looking at similar like-minded partners who would help us in, spreading our message of being a safe destination to our guests. It could be airlines, it could be automobile, or it could be any other travel partner. And we made some really good progress on this front over the last couple of months in terms of collaborations, and we've seen success in that. It could be with airlines or it could be with automobile partners. We've seen success in that, and it has actually benefited either of us. So I would say that, going forward, the only way we can help each other is by collaborating and not competing.
Sure, sure. Mr. Jasra, would you like to add some points on this?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm completely agree with Sachin on that part is concerned. There are two things I realized from airline point of view that as a collaboration between partners is that one, we have to instill this faith among the passengers and the guests put together that it is safe to travel, it is safe to stay in hotels, it is safe, everything. All the touch points are safe and hygienically good because from airline point of view, for airline, flying is their mainstay, but if they also support business to hotel or the taxi or the even for the tourists, for the tour and travel, that is their ancillary business. So their way, that ancillary business, they can get some extra money, extra revenue. At the same time, they support the other system also. So this is the out of box, I think we all have to think, because for the hotelier, it is to sell their rooms. They only do the hospitality is concerned. They don't sell the ticket. But probably this could be a good idea that hotel also sell the tickets. They also support the other businesses are concerned. Then it becomes the ancillary revenue for the hoteliers to as a way forward. This is it's a win-win situation for all the partners put together. And one thing which is more important, as I already said, that we should instill this hope in the people, this faith in the people and the passengers put together, that it is safe. All the touch points of travel, right from airport to or the bus or the taxi or the hotel or whatever, it is hygienic. We have maintained the hygienic standard, and we should complement each other, because when passengers come to know that airline is talking about the hotel's hygiene point, then they take it more seriously, because at the same time, if a hotelier is talking about the safety and the hygiene point of an airline, then they take it more seriously that way. So way forward, I think collaboration is the only way forward. And as rightly one of our panelists said, that government is not doing anything. When they are not doing anything, I think together we have to do something for us.
Yes, that's very, very true, because we should not now lose any minute, because every minute is getting expensive in terms of our revenue falling, not having a positive hold. So yes, that is very, very true. Now, Mr. Srivastava, you had some concern, you had some points to share on this topic.
Yeah, well, I think this is the right time to all the stakeholders, whether it is airport, airline, OTA, travel agency, everybody should be come together and handhold the business for survival rather competitive business. Government, yes, I agree. Government is not supporting or supporting some extent in compared to international other country. Our government is not supporting well, but yes, I cannot right to say anything about the government. But is the end of the day is our business. We have to make sure our business to manage by our stakeholders. And end of the day, if you see any of the businesses is shut down or closed down, that's going to be affect other business too. Most important thing here, we have to understand complete demand and supply chain, how it works. So if passengers start flying, then airline will survive. If passenger traveling from A city to B city and they're staying in hotel, then hotel will survive. And airlines, airport and airlines and hotel will survive, then definitely OTA, travel agency, all those survive because they have inventory to sell. That's most important thing. We have to understand complete supply chain. And yes, this is a time ultimately we have to complement business each other. Every agency, every stakeholder, they can complement each other, and we create some ecosystem for entire journey from airport to hotel, whether it is a complete travel, should be seamless and touchless. That's going to be address entire ecosystem. Let's say, for example, what I'm technology point of view, what I'm trying to say, if passenger should be have a complete journey, very safe, starting from the check-in at the airport and aircraft, boarding the aircraft, landing and keeping in the using the travel, any of the transport, whether it is a car, rent, taxi, rental, everything, and going inside of the hotel and stay for some time and coming back. So this entire journey should be very, very integrated and very, very safe. Most important thing, this is time airlines, airport, everybody should create some kind of confidence, to generate the confidence among the traveler, so that travelers, they can start traveling and staying the hotel very fearlessly.
Mr. Mehra, you have some pointers to this. If you can also put your video on.
Actually, if I put my video on, there is something wrong. Sometimes I'm not audible.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay, sir.
Fine.
Fine.
That's the reason
We can see you now, sir. We can see you now.
No problems. Now, the thing
Yes,
is
sir.
that hotels, airlines are coordinating, but tour operators, travel agents are the number one point of coordinating between everyone. Today, when we talk about domestic, I cannot talk because it's all short distance travel at the moment. But whenever the international starts, when international was working, it is the tour operators who've been coordinating with the airlines by promoting the airlines, promoting hotels, and therefore that promotion is there. We definitely promote hotels who support the tour operators and the airlines. I will not name the airlines. I was shocked because I was dealing with the cancellations, penalties and all that on behalf of ITO for the foreign clients. Unbelievable, 90% group bookings were with one airlines, 90% of the foreign bookings. Because of the friendly access of that airlines, fares, and so our tour operators were promoting that airlines. And luckily, one of the airlines, which is said, I will not name that, they might close down. I don't think so they're going to close down. Our operators' money is hardly stuck up with that airlines, and because of their attitude of working. So similarly, the what is happening is, even for domestic, we tour operators are promoting those hotels who are friendly with us. At least I have to make a 10% profit. Let aside, even if I do the billing, 5% GST goes away, I still have 5% to make out. Fine. Therefore, if those hotels who are giving us a 10% lower rate than their rates published on their website or things like that, we're trying to promote them. Ask is about the hygiene, about what is the safety regulations, what they have done, and if someone gets sick, what are they going to do? And we have. I am as a tour operator, I will just say that over the weekends, I am the motorable distance, whether it is Rajasthan, Haryana, Uttarakhand, or Himachal. So we have to coordinate. If the hotel thinks that they can do without a tour operator, no. If the airline thinks that they can do without a tour operator or a travel agent, no. Because these are the people, we have to all work together, and all of us have to support each other if we have to run. And that is the reason today that both hotels and airlines have to cooperate with the tour operators. The tour operators have to cooperate with the hotels and the airlines. And it should be a win-to-win situation for everyone. So therefore, I will not say that if the hotel tariff was 20,000 rupees, you give me it for 5,000 rupees. Give me for 8,000 rupees or 9,000 rupees, so that I can also give it to the client, attract and send it across. And once these things are going up, I was good to hear from Sachin that even during the weekdays, he's doing well, which other hotels in Rajasthan or Haryana are not doing at the moment. So we have to cooperate and coordinate with each other very well to promote each other. And that is what is required today. And then it will come, because as rightly said, and I've also said earlier, there is no support, no help from anyone. I have been personally involved since the end of March with the government departments, ministers and CEOs of Niti Aayog and everyone. We've gone to whatever level it is, but the result is zero. But we are still not lost hope. We are after it. And whenever we have gone, we have always talked about the tour operators, travel agents, hoteliers, airlines, and the tourist transports, everyone, because we are all one and we have to remain united so that we bounce back as soon as the restrictions are lifted worldwide.
Right,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much. Very well said that in spite of so much of legwork since March till date, we haven't lost hope. And we as a body are representing all the touch points which come under tourism, whether it is airlines, whether it is OTAs, whether it is tour operators, and of course the hotels. So I think that is the main thing, because the whole industry right now has only one aim, that we come out stronger. And you very well said that we don't have to lose hope. But then, since there's no government support, it's very, very imperative that the whole industry gets together. That is important, and we can't lose more time. So I think somebody has to take that responsibility to get everybody together, because maybe everybody is waiting for it to start happening under some leadership, honestly. Because somebody has to take that, be an initiator, be an enabler to get them together and propose. Like recently, Rosiat started this domestic tourism with bikers, just to have a positive a wave kind of thing, from Delhi till Kanyakumari. So basically, they're trying to get smaller hotels on the way, and people are the 6 bikers are staying there, and just expressing that we are all okay. It's all okay, as in the hygiene has been taken care. It's all safe to travel. So that is one little way of stepping up. But then I think bigger leaderships have to come together and get the whole industry work together in collaboration with trust. Otherwise, we will be only dependent, and then that dependency is anyways killing till now. Am I right, Sachin? Do you have anything to say on this?
Absolutely. I think,
Yeah.
optimism is the way forward, and I'm pretty optimistic about, this entire thing coming around for all of us. It could be the industry, or it could be the travel again. But it all depends on the timelines that we put across each of these, aspects. Like I said, I mean, airlines might take a longer time. Budget hotels might take much longer time, and few destinations might be benefiting right now because a lot of people perceive them to be safer than being in a city or being stuck in, a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment for a longer time. So right now, we might, for destinations like ours, or in Mussoorie or even Jaipur, or other unique destinations in the country, might be seeing some traffic coming their way. But it's a matter of time when the sentiment and the confidence only increases, and we start seeing more travel happening all across. I mean, I've seen a lot of people traveling on work already, and people taking flights from Bombay to come to Dehradun and then come and visit our resort. It could be from Bombay or even from Delhi. So people have started taking that step forward to fly an airplane from, be it Bombay or Hyderabad or even Bangalore, to reach a destination like Dehradun. which is obviously not on anybody's map at this point in time, but people are willing to, do that. And if the volumes might be one by hundredth of what it used to happen earlier, but then at least the moment has started. And I only see the next 3 to 6 months, if we continue to follow this trend, and if we continue to reduce the number of cases like we are. I mean, not we, but as a community, if you're trying to be a lot more disciplined and careful with that part of self-discipline, I'm sure the next 3 to 6 months will only pave way for a sooner recovery. I'm not saying that 2021 is going to be as good as 2019 if we have to compare full year to a full year. But maybe 2022 is going to be as good as 2019 and then way forward. But for 2022 to be better, to be that better, we need to start taking those baby steps now and then eventually get onto that, platform where, we have a good full year for ourselves and for our stakeholders. But
Very
like I said, I
true.
mean, the next 12 months, or I would say the next 14 to 15 months, we need to work only with optimism and collaboration, and collaborate as much as we can with all our partners. It could be travel partners, it could be tourism, or it could be airline, or it could be anybody from the service industry, where we all have suffered commonly, and then help each other to overcome this.
Right. And also, I would add one word: speed. The speed at which we get control over this whole situation, current situation right now, will also determine the recovery options, because that is very, very important.
Absolutely.
How fast we work on it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, how fast we work on, how fast we work with each other first up.
Yes,
I think
each other.
that's
Yes.
more important. How soon we agree to the terms of working with each other. I mean, because these are the same guys whom we competed with at one point
Yeah.
one point in time. It could be among different hotel brands, or it could be among in the same geography, different hotels, or even amongst different airlines. So the same guys who competed are now collaborators. And how do we sustain this collaboration when we realize that things are getting better in later half of 2021 or 2022? So that holds the key. But I think that is for a later part of the discussion. But right now, we all need to work at what speed we come back to normalcy.
That's right. That's right.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
Ranjit, I
Yes,
just
sir.
want
You
to
want to
add,
add? Yes,
I
sir.
just want to
Please.
add one thing. You
Yes,
see,
sir.
when we're
Please.
talking about small steps here, we also tried to do some promotion films abroad. Nothing, because all our partners said this is not the right time to do it, because till things open up, and only we can think about doing all these promotions. So we did try that. As I told, we spent a lot of money on making a film out with the support of hoteliers and airlines. We showed everything. But then the problem there is that till such time things improve all over the world, the Indian visa restrictions are lifted and the flights start operating. What can we do? Australia says don't come. UK says come in 14 days quarantine. So unless until worldwide these quarantine things are removed, international traveler will not travel. Even the statistics which we have, there's been hardly any business visas issued for traveler, because a traveler coming into India does not want a 14-day quarantine despite having a COVID-19 certificate. So the thing is that these restrictions, the government of India needs to remove before they try and do business visa into India. And then what happens if someone from UK comes into India and goes back? He has 1 day work here, 14 days stuck up here, 14 days stuck up back. He'll do a Zoom meeting like us and finish his job. So let us see that, and when things improve, we just want a month's time to bounce back once restrictions are lifted. A month.
But Yeah, I agree with you at that point, but we have a very good, robust
absolutely.
domestic market is also, and that can definitely support us for fairly longer time, unless until then this international market
No,
opens
that's
up.
fine.
So yeah,
That,
domestic market is good.
Ajay ji, that's fine. That is good for the hotelier to some extent because of booking of direct. Airlines have hardly got any benefit out of it. Tour operators have hardly got any benefit out of it. There is no one going to Sikkim, Darjeeling for a 10-day tour or going to Kerala for a 10-day tour. No one.
No,
No one.
no.
So it has not benefited the airlines. Hoteliers in the nearby areas have benefited. I was speaking with hoteliers in Delhi. 15 rooms, 20 rooms, I will not name the hotels. Center of Delhi, every day average 15, 20 rooms. They are really thinking whether we should operate or not.
Agreed.
15 rooms, 20 rooms, average 25 rooms maximum. What will you do? Because there is no business traffic even within the Indians. Yes, uh, for domestic people for a 2-night stay or a 3-night stay, going like Delhi nearby or from Bombay to the areas nearby, that is there. So hotelier, at least my saying is that at least someone is getting some revenue. Hoteliers are getting it. We are very happy, at least. But then the problem with the hoteliers also, or they are also cripping because their owners are not satisfied. They said, "We, how much money you want us to pump in every month? Because the electricity bills are so much everywhere. I don't know. Sachin must be knowing whatever revenue is collecting. Can he even match it with his expenses? No way, no way. So, but still, at least they are big. They are working. There are people who have got their jobs back. Travel agencies, hotel, airlines. People have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Yes, Tarandeep.
So,
Yeah,
so even if it was
Mr.
situation zero in the month of March, April, May, when we were totally in a lockdown, now I see a lot of light on the other side of the tunnel because at least it started. There is some optimism there. There is some movement
Exactly.
there.
So,
There's a
Mr.
challenge. I would say people are wanting to get out, even if it is motorable distance. But at least that ripple has started. That movement has started. But yes, we all know that this will not balance off our sheets because we've already gone through so much of I mean, I was in negative numbers in the past 6 months, but then this will this is just an optimism to get your teams rolling, to
Exactly.
get
So,
your
I just want to add something
property
here.
buzzing. This will be very slow. We all know that, but we need to build on it.
I just want to add something here. It's really improbable for us to actually look at our balance sheets or our P&Ls for the last 6 months. This year is all about survival, and next year is going to be about sustenance. And I think we will only be back in business in its truest sense by 2022 or later half of next year. It's true that we have suffered huge losses, or all of us as a service industry. It could be airlines, or it could be hotels, or the entire industry has suffered very heavily during those. From March until even now, and it's continuing. But then, what I'm really happy about is the initial demand that is coming our way. It could be road travel, or it could be people flying into our destination. But then there is a change in behavior. People are making those decisions to get out of their homes and travel and visit different places. It could be for a holiday, or even for 1 week or 10-day longer stays where they could work from this destination, because a lot of companies have moved to a work from home kind of methodology now. So I mean, I know we can't compare the numbers. We are able to pay our bills. We are able to sustain everybody's careers and jobs, and trying to do as much as we can to safeguard everybody's interest. But right now, I think it's all about surviving this tide, and getting to a phase where we start sustaining whatever measures that we've taken over the last 3 months after we've reopened our businesses.
Very true. So,
yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
Tarandeep, I'd like to add here,
sure, sure.
Sachin sir, Rajiv sir rightly said, there are a lot of passengers willing to travel today even, but they are not traveling because of they have a lot of confusion they can travel, probably they can land in the city, probably they can go for quarantine for 14 days and all those things. So there are a lot of myths going on in the market, and this is kind of confusing among the traveler. That is why they are not traveling. That's the most important factor. I said earlier, you start from the airline. Flying is most important. Otherwise, other associated business cannot be survived. Most important, we have to give the confidence among the customer or passenger. They have to start flying. This is number one. And most important thing, we have to do something new normal. What I'm saying new normal means like say government, authority, DGC, everything can come to closer and they can do something innovation. And airlines are always believing in innovation. Like say, for example, we do every airline is struggling, and they have a big network to complete the flying. And at the same time, one airline they have a limited number of aircraft, or more. Some other airlines they have a lot of number of aircraft, and they have aircraft is parked at the airport. They're not flying because they have no passenger. So what I'm trying to say here, domestically we can do airline they can handshake with other airlines and do interline. Interlining we are normally doing for international airlines. For domestic, for time being, maybe 6 month time or maybe 1 year time, we can do interlining. Interlining definitely can help us in terms of taking traveler from A to B, and those airlines they have a limited number of flying hours they can fly, and then they can pass to customer to other airlines. So these are kind of we can do hand holding and collaboration that going to be very, very benefit for industry.
Thank you so much. So I think all the points were very valid, that whatever situations we are right now, we need to build the tourism. We need to build that, that anxiety walls have to break in the consumer's mind, because right now they are under anxiety, whether they're going to be in the safe place, and so on and so forth. But I think the hospitality in terms of airlines and hotels, they are bound to, it's like a sure shot hygiene SOPs being followed. So this is something which every customer understands. It's just that we need to build with them the walls of the fear has to go off. So we have to really create a system wherein we are able to create a campaign or a communication that they are going to be in safe hands and they should travel with good package end to end, so that there is no problem for him when he gets into the flight, to the surface transport, to the hotel and back. So I think the whole industry needs to work with a lot of speed and collaboration. Now I would request our our audience, they have some questions. I can see some questions there. Aman, can you please unmute and ask the question? Aman, please unmute and ask the question which you have put in the chat box.
Unable to, now.
Yeah,
sorry,
we can
sorry.
hear you.
Yeah, now I'm able to unmute it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
No, I didn't have a question. I just felt that it's a very interesting discussion, and as a so I have my own tea brand, etc. But so I'm in a way a consumer. So I think instead of waiting for government, SOPs, we need to create the demand within the economy, and that's what I was also writing actually there. And I feel that the end of the day, right now, at least for the next 6 months, the domestic leisure traveler will bring the business, because we are supplying teas to right hotels in Jaipur, and and a couple of them to JP also in Mussoorie, though not the Marriott group, but and a lot of Delhi, and a lot of nearly 70% occupancy has been reached during the weekends and 40% during the other days. So I just feel that even social media and marketing will really play a very important role at this time by the hotels to attract such kind of families and travel. And because people are looking for deals at this time, people are really tired, sick and tired of going. I was listening to the interview of the Sofitel GM, who is and he was saying that the maximum now sales 70% they've reached occupancy due to just the staycation traveler. So I know it's a very momentary thing and it's a small thing, but this can be a very big business. I mean, for instance, who would not like to go to Walnut Grove, JW Marriott? I know, I've really heard it's a huge property, but if we know what is, apart from the sanitation measures, which I rightly pointed out, whether it's for flying or whether it's in the hotel, is what is that special thing there which will attract the customer and make a change? I think that needs to be looked. It's probably being looked at, but so when it's more in on these kind of platforms where marketing campaigns and social media happens, this people get to know the consumer, the B2C, the consumer gets to know. And that's where right now, more than the corporates, it is these people and families and word of mouth spreading. I'm a Gurgaonite, and I know that there's so many families in Gurgaon who are really, really rushing to Kasauli and Jaipur and, staying for a number of days also. Also, a lot of weddings, people who had destination weddings abroad, like, when they had already fixed it about a few months ago, they have postponed the destination weddings. They have changed the venue to now these hotels, right? Also the Southeast Asia. So I feel weddings and these staycations, I just wanted to, just add.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I think
very
all the
well
points
put,
are very
put
valid.
forth, Aman. But I think, Aman, along with the hotels, the whole tourism related to hotels,
Correct.
these are all arms together as a industry. So
Yeah.
everybody needs to work together to take out these campaigns for the benefit of the customer, so that
Correct.
one, that safety is promised, and then everybody is working together for shares, individual shares. So airlines, surface transport, travel operator, tour operators, and hotels. So they all have to
Yes.
work very, very closely right now, immediately, I would say.
I
So-
agree. I was just giving a customer point of view, like,
Yes.
looking
That
at
is
it.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you
Okay.
so much.
There's somebody by by the name of Pirzada Fayaz Ahmed from Kashmir. You have a question. Kindly unmute and ask, please. Are you there? I can see you. Yeah. Okay.
Hello. Hi.
Yes, please. Hi.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for organizing such informative and much needed webinars. Now, what my question was that the government has been of assistance to almost every sector, every business sector, except the tourism and travel trade. Why so? What is the reason that the government is neglecting this sector completely? And what can be done from our side, from the side of the associations? There are plenty of associations throughout the country. What can be the modus operandi of the people of the travel and tourism trade people, so that we can draw the attention of the government towards our apathy? Kashmir mainly, as compared to the other parts of the country, we have been witnessing the same type of situation, not only from March, but actually from past August, due to some political reasons. Everyone knows it. And this trade is suffering, especially in J&K, the Jammu and Kashmir. We are suffering, and the government seems to be, quite silent on this sector. So would like to have the views of the panel, which is over there, and so that we can go ahead with our actions. Thank you.
Thank you. So, esteemed panel, please answer this question. We would request you. We can hear the pain in the person's voice. I think Peer Zada was really.
First of all, well, because I represent an association, the associations are doing whatever possible for the last 8 months. We have gone to all extent. We have been working till midnight, sending letters and details and information to various ministries. But then nothing is happening there for whatever reason, I don't know. Saying that other sectors have got anything, no sector has got anything, none. Uh, don't count the farmers as the sectors. Apart from that, no one has got anything. The automobile industry has got up a little bit because the demand for two-wheelers and three-wheelers have come in. So is a little bit about the hotels. The airlines, hardly anything is happening. So the situation is that first of all, no one has got anything, and the associations are doing their level best to get hold of some relief for the members in the tourism trade. And we are still very hopeful that our Honorable Prime Minister will listen to us one day, and something will come out soon. Thank you.
Would anybody in the panel like to add to this, or we go to the next question?
I think this is the same. I was also of the same view. What Rajiv just said, that no sector has actually got anything, and government has hardly got any money. I mean, their tax collection has definitely gone down. So expecting government to support an industry outrightly is something that we can't expect from them as well. And as far as, because I've been very closely worked with the politics and politicians backstage, all I can tell you, wherever the votes are count, wherever there's elections can change, things can change during elections, only those measures will be supported. And as far as the tourism is concerned, especially airlines and tourism are concerned, most of the government actually they act with the psyche that it's a luxury. It is not essential. It is not, although the tourism gives the maximum, I think out of 11, I think 4 people are engaged in tourism only. Despite that, government doesn't take tourism as a priority sector. And infrastructure is somewhere government is investing more right now, which will probably generate more employment. So as far as the tourism is concerned, as far as the hospitality is concerned, airlines are concerned, they have to fend themselves only. Only good thing they have done right now as far as the airline is concerned is this restriction on the fares. And that is probably is going to help some of those 2 or 3 small airlines to survive. I think my suggestion to this gentleman is that I think we have to fend ourselves, and as we already have discussed, that collaborative way is the way forward.
Very rightly said. I think collaboration is the key right now. That's the only way. Okay, Chandrika, you had one question. You can unmute and ask. Chandrika?
Hi, Taran.
Yeah.
Pleasure to hear all the 4 speakers today. So it's nice to hear, talks about collaboration and all. One simple situation that I'd like to present here. So if you are a budget hotel in a place like Gurgaon, which attracts people primarily either who's a corporate traveler or a business traveler, or someone who's traveling because of certain exhibitions which are being held in the city, or possibly is a medical tourist. Now, in such a scenario, the way that we are in currently, what happens to budget hotels in a place like Gurgaon? Anyone can answer that.
So just as an introduction, Chandrika runs a budget hotel in Gurgaon by the name of Imperial Park.
Hi, Chandrika. I hear you and I can understand what you're exactly trying to, I get the message of what you're trying to say. And of course, for a lot of corporates, I think the way forward is going to be work from home, and corporate travel or the corporate or the MICE corporate part of the MICE is going to see a big decline. Or we already seeing that, the only group business that we all are looking at is socials. It could be weddings or, get-togethers or events similar to that. But in terms of corporate travel, it has, it has ceased because most of the companies have moved to working from home. Most of the travel is now restricted to a screen like we all are right now, where the meetings and decisions happen over a virtual call, and this trend will continue for a while. We have a lot of restrictions on international travel and people traveling on work as well. Even though there are very mild signs of recovery, I would say some people are actually traveling for work, but then these are not the guys who would actually look for even a budget hotel to stay, or they would look for a safer place they would perceive a luxury hotel to be safer than a budget hotel. But that's how the market is behaving right now. That's the behavior of a guest, and I only hope and this is going to change in the times to come, because most of the hotels are only seeing the repat business, right? I mean, people are coming back from different countries back to India. Our people are coming back for whatever reasons, and who are subjected to go for 14-day quarantine, mandatory quarantine by the government. So that's the only business that we are looking at. But like I said, I just hope it gets better in the months to come, and there is some kind of optimism or hope in corporate travel as well.
Thank you, Sachin. I think that's the point I was trying to drive, that, it's easier said about collaborations, but the eventuality is that each one has to fend for oneself, and you have to come up with absolutely creative solutions as to what you can do. And especially, I mean, this is one area which has perhaps been hit the worst, in a place which caters only to corporate traveler or to medical tourists.
I get it. I totally understand that.
And of course, with 5 stars bringing down the tariffs by almost 60%, so there isn't much scope anyway for the budget travelers, budget hotels to exist.
I wouldn't say that we as a destination are down by 60%. We are about 25% down. But yeah, I mean, I agree to what you're saying. The rates have come down. I mean, particularly AeroCity hotels. I think hotels in Bombay as well. So the rates have come down big time.
The bonus is to be in tourist destinations. I think that's the bliss today.
Yeah, today, and the dynamics might change after 6 months, and then you might not wish to stay in a tourist destination because of business moving back to corporate business moving back to its glory. So I think it's I see it as a cyclic thing, and we just need to wait for time to tell.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's be optimistic, and let's keep communicating with our guests. That is very important, Chandrika. I think our communication has to be just happening, that who we are and how we are trying to take measures at our end. So that should not stop.
Absolutely, Taran.
Going forward, yeah.
But like Rajiv says, as of now, it's a case of being, owners pumping in the money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a scenario right now. Yeah. So it's 5:30, and it is time to end our Zoom episode. We thank all the panel speakers with who have given a lot of input and spoken absolutely in clear way, as to where we stand and how we should be proceeding, in terms of our action plan. So I thank everyone. I hope our audience got some nuggets, got some takeaways today. And we look forward to more such interactions in times to come. Thank you so much. And we look forward to more webinars in the times to come. And thanks for investing time with us. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much, Tarandeep. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks a
everyone.
lot.
Thank you all. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye-bye. Take care.
And
Mr.
Ajay,
Jasra,
you
please take care of yourself.
Yeah, Ajay, get well soon. Get well soon, Ajay.
We'll meet next.
Thanks
you.
for being there. So, you know, from the bottom of our heart, HHC really wants to thank you for being there. You made it happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sachin. Thank
Thank
you,
you, everyone.
Mr. Manoj Srivastav. Thank you, Mr. Mehra. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.